Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Hi, this is Zoe Hinton from Star Wars Geek Girl. As usual, I'm here with Lizzie.
Hello.
And we have a special guest today, Jonah.
Hello.
So we have a little bit of other Star Wars news to cover, and then we're going to talk about the Bad Batch trailer. So we'll just go through the other stuff kind of quickly because we all just want to talk about the Bad Batch, I think.
Yes.
So the first thing was that they added a vintage Star Wars collection on Disney Plus. So that's the Ewok movies and the Ewok series. They have the animation from the holiday special, but not the whole holiday special, unfortunately.
That's fine with me.
That's also good with me.
No, I like the holiday special.
Gosh. Yeah, I remember sitting through it one time with a group of friends because we were not live podcasting it, but we were just podcasting a commentary about it. And yeah, that was quite the experience for my first time viewing it.
It's perfectly traumatizing.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my dad. I was like, why can't I just put the whole thing on? He said he thinks it's because it's like a little bit of a variety show. So like some of the maybe like the bands and stuff can't give copyright or whatever. So that might be why.
Possible, yeah.
I don't know. As long it's still on YouTube. So I did watch it once at someone's house where it was a literal tape recording of the original, like when it aired, and it's interrupted for a news broadcast in the middle of it. It's really
wow.
It's great. Piece of history. So they have the Clone Wars micro series, which I haven't watched since I was a kid, so I definitely want to watch that again. And they don't have droids, unfortunately, because I really liked that show as a kid.
Well, not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't, except for the Han Solo thing from the holiday special. I still haven't watched any of the others, and I should get on that because they're animated shows. Those were the first iterations of Star Wars in animated form. So I definitely want to get on that.
Yeah, I've never seen Ewoks. I think I've seen all of the micro series, but I was like really little, so I only remember like a few of them, like a few little parts.
Which one is the micro series?
That's the 2D Clone Wars.
Oh, yes, I remember those. I always thought that I like made them up in my head because I watched them over and over when I was little, but then like I found it like going through all my movies and I was like, oh, I thought I made this up.
Well, that one I have seen, and I remember watching it when it was on. I think it was Cartoon Network, and you'd have to wait for something to end, or it was in between episodes, if I remember correctly, of something. And so it's like if you blink, you missed it.
Yeah, well, my dad was telling me, he was like, when they aired, he would like rush home from work to try and catch them, and then if he was just a little bit late, the whole thing would be over because they're like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to watch those. That's it. That's the vintage collection. Not complete yet, but better than it was.
I'm excited for everyone to watch the Ewok movies because that's what I also grew up on is the Ewok movies, and they're the best because they're the best.
I'm hoping them putting this collection up is a sign of them continuing the whole animated side of Star Wars. I mean, obviously they have things in production right now, but there's this concern in like parts of the community that the animation is kind of winding down because live action is taking preference for a lot of people. So I'm hoping this animated collection just reinforces that Star Wars is also a way you can also watch it through cartoons as well.
Yeah, I think a good amount of the people that are like, yeah, we like live action is old people. Older generation.
That's not nice.
No, you'd be surprised. They range.
Yeah.
They're just very adamant. So they make you think that they're older.
It feels like it because they're I don't watch the cartoons because it's for children.
I don't know. I feel like I've run into a lot of people our age that that are very anti-Clone
Well, we're
Wars
also
and
old.
Rebels. No, we're not.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's because of the fact that this country, America specifically, United States, is founded on the idea that once you turn 18, you become an adult. You move out of your parents' house, you get a job, you make a family, so on and so forth. So it's this idea
18.
that at 18, you leave your childhood behind. So a lot of people to this day grow up with that mentality, and they think, oh, cartoons, that's when I used to watch when I was 10. I don't watch that anymore. So you see that, and it's just so sad because you're depriving your inner child of that content.
Yeah. That's why I have like lots of stuffed animals, and I still watch cartoons and anime.
Heck yeah. I still have a whole bunch of other things on my wall that you would see if I was like 14. But no, I'm 34 and I'm enjoying it.
We're just having fun and not being strict with ourselves on what what we can and cannot.
Life is too
like.
short, you know? It's too short.
Yes, very.
So that, I don't know what else to say. You know, more cartoons. Really want them to add the droids series because I love that. I remember that even as a kid thinking like this is really weird, but like I like it. So I'm really excited to watch it as like an adult-ish person and see like how it holds up.
Ish.
I think I think my dad has it on DVD, the droids, but like I have to get out the DVD and put it in the DVD player. You know, it's just so much work.
I got you.
If they put it on Disney Plus, I can just be lazy, which I like very much. So that's the vintage Star Wars collection, and then they announced.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like you're using the water and echo device.
Shut up. Okay.
Alexa, cease.
No, my mom got like a discounted one. Oh my god. I put it in the trash can and it's still okay. So it's unplugged. No, my mom got like a discounted one. I was like, oh, I'll take it to school, and then our Wi-Fi bans it. And it's which like for good reason, you know, because they are kind of creepy. But like now it's just like a rock sitting on my desk that sometimes makes annoying sounds.
Paperweight.
Yeah. Anyway, they announced 2 new books. They announced The Odyssey of Star Wars, an epic poem, which is telling the story of Star Wars from the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One to the Battle of Endor and Return of the Jedi, as like a myth inspired by like Homer, like the Odyssey and the Iliad, which is really cool because I love that kind of thing. You know, like I love the Shakespeare Star Wars that like tell Star Wars in the style of like an old Shakespeare story. So this is cool because I think Star Wars in a lot of ways is just like a modern version of like a lot of old myths. So I think it's cool to like draw on that. So
yeah, it's a tragedy in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. Hopefully they, you know, because this is a very like original trilogy plus Rogue One centered thing. So hopefully they'll like do something like that with like the prequel era too, if that goes over well, hopefully. I just think that's a really cool idea. I'm excited.
That is cool. With things like this, I wish that they would also like that Clone Wars anthology that came out last year. Like I want to see a Rebels version of these things. Like give me
you
Rebels.
Have me at Rebels.
I know, right? Give me that.
For Rebels. Like I don't need anything else.
It's just so frustrating sometimes because that part of the universe has so much potential and we're not getting it.
No. Yeah, so my little like hopeful brain is like maybe they're just keeping all the Rebel stuff quiet, and then when they do the animated Return of Ezra, it's gonna be all animated return, animated Return of Ezra. Then they're gonna do a whole bunch of Rebel stuff. But
that would be amazing. Yes,
animated. Do you hear me?
Super
animated.
Please.
Yeah, and then. So yeah, that I don't know how I got to that. And then the other thing they announced, I think this is all the stuff. I probably missed something, but they announced the title of the final book in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. It's called Lesser Evil. I haven't read the first 2 in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy.
Yeah.
So I can't really give it much insight into that title.
I can't either. But the one thing I will say is Thrawn gets books. I mean, come on. Where's Rebels? Where are the other Rebels characters? And don't get me wrong, I love Thrawn. I love what he was in the series. I love him in the books as well. But I just
he gets 2 trilogies. I didn't even know he had a second trilogy because I finished the first trilogy and I was like, cool, I read the Thrawn books. And it's like, no, you didn't. There's like at the time there's one more and the second one just came out, and now there's, if he gets another trilogy, I'm gonna be mad, but
I know
whatever.
We will flip tables.
Many tables will be flipped.
Yes.
So yeah, books.
Oh, they also released the if I remember correctly, they released a new covers of the Legends books. I forget which ones in particular. I know there was that thing, that the book with Mace Windu. I forget what it's called. Shatterpoint.
Oh, I think I did see some of the
so they're releasing a new set of covers. I think that's what it is. And then that's when I erupted with my "Give me more Rebels" books. Because it's like, you're making more Legends books, but you're not giving us Rebels. What is this world that we live in? This timeline is the darkest of them all.
Yeah, more Rebels and more Resistance. Resistance is so neglected.
Yes, I also included Resistance. Like, how is there no novel that details the love story between Captain Doza and Vanessa Doza? Like,
well, you got the Dozas. Yeager's got a whole thing going on.
Yeager and his family, exactly.
Sonara and the pirates.
Oh my god, so much potential.
Just,
again,
books moving forward, like what happens to the Colossus between that and Rise of Skywalker? What about like Tam and Kaz and Niku? And like,
yeah, I'm totally with you.
I also wish there was more. Like, there's a lot of things for Galaxy's Edge, but I kind of wish there was more because Kaz, they never mentioned Batu in any of the films or anything, but the only time it was mentioned was in Resistance, and Kaz was gonna go to Batu, and then they were like, no, let's not go to Batu. I was like, but like, it could be cool if they mentioned Batu in
the third season where they met Vimerati, and then we could get and then everything would be, the world would be a better place if Resistance got another season.
The worst spy ever meets the best spy ever.
So
such a shame.
Yeah, I mean, cool Star Wars stuff coming out, I guess.
True, very true. Yeah,
now I'm mad.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I know we went on like a whole rant, but I'm also happy for the people who are excited for this lineup of new books that are coming out. So yay for you.
I hope you're happy,
you guys. Appreciate what you're being given.
It's so funny though. It's like, no, sometimes I feel like when they announce new Star Wars stuff, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I don't really care. Like, no, not that I don't care, because I do, but like all the characters I really want stuff about are the characters that get the most ignored. It feels like if I like a character, like specifically that character, they're like, no more of that one.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Star Wars that Lucasfilm has to realize, that they are writing these stories and providing this new content for people, for a very particular set of people, and not really thinking about the other generations that really want to see some of the newer characters and their stories. Like, where's that content? Because I really don't want to read another Thrawn novel. but I'm happy for those people that are really excited for that. But I also, it's just very one-sided, like not one-sided. It's very narrow. Like, there's no real like branches out there for other
and the worst part is like fans. I know I'm gonna read it. That's the worst part. Like, I don't have to read it, but I'm going to. Like, okay. Bad Batch.
Yes, Bad Batch.
Bad Batch. The trailer came out. I have a couple pictures. I only have like a couple at the bottom of the notes here, but I watched the trailer for the first time while I was making these on like Friday. So these are just kind of my thoughts a little bit while I was
that first image
watching the trailer. Oh yeah, my meme, my very hardworking meme.
I hope you will
Yes.
describe it in detail when we get
Yes,
to
it's
it.
yeah. Well, I can just describe it now, I guess. But
Okay.
the meme I've created is a painting of Atlas, from like Greek mythology, the Titan that holds up the world. It's him, and over Atlas it says D. Bradley Baker, and the world is the Bad Batch. Because
He's
Am I-
carrying it all.
but am I wrong though?
No, you're not.
Of
So
course not.
Where's the lie?
so yeah, there's that. So the trailer has a lot of things. I think the first thing I noticed is the animation style of this show, which I noticed much in like the early teasers, but I think this trailer being longer is that like it's obviously Clone Wars, but like some things just seem a little more like smooth, like they are in Rebels,
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like Clone Wars is like very textured on everything, which is one of the things I like about it.
Very squared.
And not even squared, just like all of the everything looks painted on like it's a model, which I always thought was cool.
Yeah. What I noticed with like the next photo with Fennec, she just it doesn't look Clone Wars to me. It looks more Disney Infinity, if anything. It's just very smooth.
Got it.
That
Now
one
that you
looks
mention-
really Clone Wars to me, but like some of the shots like of Omega of the child look more like very smooth, not like Clone Wars is. Like more like Rebels is very smooth.
Yeah.
Most things are, and I think so like in some ways I think it's cool that this show is almost like a transitory period between those two animation styles.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it looks like they're kind of evolving the show to get to what Rebels looks like, which would be really cool if they announce another series after
Mhm.
this. If it's like a little bit more like it has some remnants of Clone Wars, but then it has a little bit more of what Rebels looks like, which would be really cool, actually, come to think of it, if they decide to do something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be about, but I guess they can do
Oh,
about
yeah.
anything. Although I do think at some point we are going to have to move away from the 20-year period between Revenge
Oh,
of the
yeah,
Sith
for
and A New Hope.
sure.
Not that I don't love the stories they're telling there, but like there's other
Yeah.
other places to put things.
I would love to have a post. I mean, Mandalorian is great, but I would like to have an animated series in that time period as well, which is after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens. Just, there's a lot of things to dig and make something out of that.
Yes. So there's that. So one thing we see is like Tarkin and around Camino, and they're in a training range, like in Clone Cadets, like the training range they're in there, and they're doing it their own way, of course, because they're the Bad Batch.
It makes me wonder if they're being, obviously, I think it comes across as they're being tested just to see like what they're capable of, if they're worth keeping around.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe I got too.
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that.
And then something that I was coming to, that I was theorizing about actually, was just the idea that if they decide to keep them around, then, and if they don't have their chips implanted because they're prototypes and that wasn't maybe at that stage of their development, then maybe they want to put the chip in their heads to control them. I'm not sure when the chip stops working. I know someone made a reference to the Kanan comics and how some of the clones, their chips seem to have stopped functioning, but they're still following the directive.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they didn't shoot him. They found him again and were like, "Oh, you're a Jedi. I remember you."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He was like, "Well, I'll let you go. It's fine."
So I'm curious if that's where they're headed, in that direction, where they're maybe trying to control them, and because of the fact that they can't control them because of who they are naturally, then they are going to be executed and get rid of.
Yeah, I think like I know they said the first episode is going to be what, like 90 minutes or like something crazy,
70,
like 70, something crazy like that. So like I think that first episode is going to be like so pivotal, because like we don't really know where the story is going to go, like specifically at this point, and how the stuff like you said is going to play out. So I think I'm really looking forward to the first episode, I think, more than like, because I feel like when Clone Wars Saved came out, I was like yeah, all the stuff with like Bad Batch and the Marta sisters, that's cool. Where's Siege of Mandalore? And I was most looking forward to that. And with this,
Yeah.
I'm really more looking forward to like how is this going to start, you know? Because
Yeah.
obviously it's going to like change everything on how we look at it later.
For sure.
So that's exciting. Then they're on like, it looks like Coruscant, and they're driving like their air speeders.
Yeah, you
know?
know, I said that because I thought it was Coruscant too. And then I have to bring up Sal, of course, because Sal said, no, there are trees. There are trees in the background.
Are there?
Yeah, there are trees. When he's zooming through the streets, you see some trees in some
Yeah,
in
I-
between
There's
the
like
buildings.
gardens on Coruscant, so it doesn't
That's actually a good
have
point
to
too.
not be Coruscant.
Yeah.
Not to doubt Sal Perales.
Wow,
but,
you're doubting my Sal Perales. Wow, Zoe.
yeah, there's like a fruit market. It looks like Coruscant, but I do
Yeah.
see the trees now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, I suppose.
Yeah.
I just assumed Coruscant, but I guess, you know, there's other city planets. So yeah, interesting. And there's stuff with like battle droids, and they're like, you know, and Echo's Bad Batch armor looks amazing.
Oh, it looks awesome.
His
Yeah.
helmet is so strange.
It is
I
very
really like it, but it
strange.
just looks like a toaster.
He's very special. So Echo, there's other clone troopers doing stuff.
The battle droids thing looks interesting to me because I'm guessing that's from like that 70-minute introduction, because the separatists before Order 66 kicks in are still inactive, so they're still operating. So I would like to see them in a situation where they're fighting off droids and all of a sudden maybe some of them power down because they've been
and
shut
then
down.
there's also, I think, the chance of like in the last battle with like Rex and like Ezra, like those battle droids are still like kind of doing their own thing. So I think there's a chance that like they could run into them later. I think I'm really curious on if this is gonna start like how Order 66, like is it gonna start like right after, or like is Order 66 gonna hit us in the middle? Like I'm curious about
It has to be. I'm assuming it's in that first episode because it's I guess it's what professional writers call the inciting incident.
Yes.
So it's like what launches the heroes onto their journey.
I'm just curious, like how far into that 70
I see what
is
you
it gonna
mean.
be? Like, is it gonna be like, are we gonna like start right in the middle of Order 66? Is it gonna be in the middle of that episode, or is it gonna end on a cliffhanger with Order 66?
Oh, that would be interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, how's it gonna go? I'm curious. So now I just have the trailer pulled up. So there's a child, Omega.
Yes.
With the like crazy, weird looking hair.
Which a lot of people thought, oh, this is Palpatine's clone.
Why Palpatine?
And I couldn't help but laugh out loud because it's just, yeah, they might have a similar sort of pulled back hairstyle, but that doesn't mean that they're clone.
No, yeah.
That just reminds me whenever there was a woman on screen, they were like, oh my God,
it's
Rey's mom. And you know, I have seen theories of this kid being Rey's dad. So there you go.
Which is the clone of Palpatine.
That is the Palpatine clone, isn't it?
Say again?
Yeah, same thing.
I thought the Palpatine clone was Rey's
right?
dad.
I don't know.
Oh, is it? I barely paid attention to the details at that point in time that I just don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah.
Not important.
It's possible.
I've seen Django clone for this kid, but this kid does not look like the baby clones we see in like the Clone Wars. I mean, obviously this is like a slightly different animation style, but I don't think. So I think it's just like some kid hanging out with the Kaminoans.
Yeah. So my theory was when I started talking about it, the trailer and other podcasts, I was thinking that when I came into it, that this kid, I know a lot of people like to think that Omega's a clone, or that maybe it's another Bad Batch, sort of like the main characters themselves. But I personally think because of that little decoration on Omega's forehead, I think Omega is force sensitive. And I've gotten into conversations about how in Clone Wars and even in Rebels, where Palpatine has stolen children, force sensitive children, to do whatever. I'm not sure, cloning or finding out what their midichlorian count is, who knows. But I
Mhm.
feel like Omega is a child who had been stolen and is on Camino and happens to run into these guys and now
Yeah.
is being taken out.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely of some importance because, like, I can't imagine the Kaminoans just like let some little little kid just run around.
Yeah.
I was for some reason I thought like maybe it's like Tarkin, like they're like related to Tarkin.
Oh,
Somehow.
that
I
would be
don't-
interesting.
I have no basis for that besides that Tarkin was also on Camino. So like, but that
it
was
would
just
be
like
it
one
would
thing
be a
I
cool
thought.
tangent, you know.
Yeah. I think one thing that could be a clone of just like someone random, because in one of the books, I'm looking for like my book review of it, 'cause I can't remember her name, but in the Pirate's Price book, the Hondo book, one of the characters she's this girl named I don't remember. She was this girl, and she was a clone made by like a rogue Kaminoan who used clones of this woman to like do his bidding, you know, and like kill people or haul
Oh,
stuff,
wow.
whatever,
Nice.
you know, and she like escaped and was on a mission to like kill him because he had some like plant that he was gonna sell to like the Pikes to like that they could use to kill a bunch of people or something. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I read the book, but this but like this woman, she, you know, talks about like the Kaminoans just, you know, they had to practice cloning on something besides just Django. So like this kid could just be like some kind of clone unrelated to Django or anything. That was just
That's
like
totally possible.
just
Yeah.
like a test, you know, of something. What's her name? Majo Relo is her name. But like they're all named Majo Relo. Like they
Got
don't, you
it.
know. So that's a good book. It's like narrated in first person by Hondo. So it's amazing. It's a great book. Yeah, sorry, tangent. But child named Omega. This is, I don't speak German, right? According to the German subtitles, somehow they use she pronouns for Omega, indicating that they're a girl. I don't know how that works, but I don't know, because I know like in some languages they like modify different words based on like the gender of the speaker or the subject.
It's true. Yeah.
So like I don't know if German does that or not,
Ah.
but so I don't know.
Man, I wish I had thought to watch it in Spanish so that way, because that language for sure relies on female and male pronouns. So,
Heavily,
man,
yeah.
why didn't I do
I
that?
don't know. I was just, 'cause I was looking on Wikipedia and I was making the notes to make sure, and so they cite Omega as a girl, and the citation they use is the German subtitles for the trailer. But that also doesn't necessarily mean that's like the intention. Just could be however whoever translated did it. Because I know when like the Last Jedi title was released in Spanish, it was plural, where Ryan Johnson said, "I didn't think of it as plural when I made the title."
I see.
You know, so like it depends. We'll
So
see.
it's probably a miscommunication, but we'll wait.
It could be, you know, it could not be. We'll see. But yeah, so the child has a bow and arrow too.
Yes, that's right. And I mean, going slightly back to that topic of whether Omega is a boy or girl, I would prefer that she's a girl, because then, you know, we get a different character in there that's not just a clone.
Yeah, well,
and who's a guy, you know.
This show is definitely, you know, going just by nature, not necessarily by the fault of any of the writers, going to be a very male heavy show because it's about the clone troopers.
So that's why I
except for,
hope
like,
Omega is a girl.
We
Yeah,
got
so-
some female. We have Fennec.
Fennec
That's
Shand
true.
That's all we
and like
need. That's fine.
Fennec Shand and like a couple Kaminoans maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll break it up a little bit with Omega, but we'll see. But they have the bow and arrow, which reminds me of the Night Sisters. You know, it's like the
Yeah.
purple. Not that I think that would be a twist. They're like a
A lot
Night
of
Sister.
children with like, you know, slingshot.
Well, you
and
can't
bow
just
and
have
arrow.
children kill people with a
But
gun.
you
They can only
could.
kill people with other weapons.
You know, actually, now that you mention it, I remember reading oh my god, Anne Convery's Bug story from the Clone Wars anthology.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really got me was the fact that Dathomir actually has not just the Night Sisters and the Dathomirian brothers, but there's also
Other witches.
other witches or the other cultures living on that planet. So I thought, oh my God, I had no idea that was a thing. It's always come across visually that there are just two sets of people living there, sets of groups of people living there. So I thought, oh man, that would be really cool now that you mention it, with it being so similar to the Night Sisters bow, that maybe she is part of a different culture from Dathomir. That would be really
somehow
cool.
connected to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Lots of speculation. We don't have much to go on.
No, it's just, this is all just theory, throwing it out there.
I'm trying to like, what else? There's, explosions, the general. Yeah, very cool stuff in the trailer. Did I say Tarkin? Rex is in it.
I freaked out. Okay, so
right?
this is
like
I'm going to paint how I watched this trailer. So I was lying down on my bed because I'm currently sadly unemployed, and I don't know what to do during my afternoons. So I'm there lying down, looking through my Twitter with my phone on top of my face. So I'm like watching it, and all of a sudden Rex shows up. The thing falls on my face, and I'm just so happy and so excited that like I pause it right there. Like I don't even watch the rest of the trailer. I pause it right there. I go to Twitter because I've been taking a 2-month-long Twitter break, and I'm like, okay, I'm back because this is the thing that has brought me back to life. And so yeah, that was exactly how I watched the trailer, and it was amazing. Rex
so
literally
excited.
pulled me to life.
I don't use Twitter much, but I have notifications on, and I got a notification. I was like, Blue Jackeyes tweeted, Jonah's back. I was so excited. And I knew I should have known it would be Rex. I didn't watch a trailer then. I should have known it would have been Rex. But
yeah, that really got me. I was just like, oh my God, Star Wars. I love Star Wars again.
I was so excited for it. And it's like, it surprised me so much. And like, it kind of feels like, yeah, Rex is going to be in it. But like, I never would have guessed that like Rex, I would have guessed.
Yeah, because it was just one of those fanciful thoughts. Like, oh, I wish this would happen. But I didn't think it would, because it's focusing on them, and Rex is off doing his own thing. So who knows? Maybe they help find Gregor or Wolf. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm excited for Rex. I'm so excited.
And then someone brought up, I forget, it might have been the All Things Ahsoka account brought up that maybe Ahsoka pops in. Who knows? That would be cool.
I think Ahsoka, at least from the novel, seems very deep in exile. So like,
yeah,
maybe
that's true.
not,
we are very glad you're back, Jonah.
No, thank you.
Everyone's glad. So Rex, yeah, I'm excited. I wonder, how like what this means, because like obviously I think it's kind of obvious that Bad Batch is gonna kind of like run away from the Empire. I think that's like 100% clear, and like obviously they'll probably team up with Rex after that, and like what's he gonna do to like help them out, and like are they gonna help him out? Like I'm excited for Rex.
Yeah, and it looks like at some point they are either on Kadavo, or they're on a colony of Kadavo, because there's a Zygerian soldier that they meet up against at some point in the trailer, or in the previous trailer. And there was that creature that's, its name is escaping me, even though I had written it down. A Brezak from Zygeria.
I wrote weird yellow creature thing in the notes, so you're doing better than me.
So it'll be really cool to see. To me, it comes across, and I think I remember this description at some point popping up, but you two are probably too young to remember, or maybe you're very aware of it, but there was a show called The A-Team back in the 80s. And they were basically guys who went around and did things their way, did right things their way. And so this is basically that in space. So I feel like if they are dealing with a Zygerian, then they're probably helping someone out of slavery. Who knows? But that's whenever I see a Zygerian, that's exactly what I think: slavery.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. That there's Saul Guerrera. He has very like pointy hair. here.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
nice to see Saw again. Even
so
and they even made a reference to him back in the Clone Wars. I think that was the Siege of Mandalore arc that they made a reference to
yeah.
Fulcrum.
Well,
Yeah.
and I know like because like in Rebels when like Saw and Rex reunite, they have their little, they do like little bro thing. And like I always thought that was just because of Onderon, but maybe like more happens. Like do Saw
Oh,
or like did Rex after splitting up with Ahsoka go find Saw and like for refuge or whatever? Like
that's
and so or
interesting.
like are they gonna help the Bad Batch connect to Saul? Like how's that gonna I don't know. Lots to look forward to. And more Fennec Shand. I wonder what
Yes.
kind of role she's gonna play. Just because she's definitely framed like a villain, I feel like in a lot of the shots, but I don't know if like
I I think
you
that's
know.
I know trailers and teasers can mislead people, but I think that is really her objective. I think because at one point you see Hunter throw something at her speeder bike, which ends up blowing up, and she has like that cool moment where the explosions in
Yeah.
her back behind her. And so and if you freeze frame it, you see the child sitting with Hunter on that on his speeder bike. So I feel like she is after the child, sort of like how in The Mandalorian you have bounty hunters who are after Grogu. So I think that's her objective in this show. I don't think she'll be a goody guy and let them
Yeah.
go. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll surprise us, and maybe that's why we see her character kind of help with Boba Fett
Boba.
and whatnot.
Mhm.
But we'll see. I'm thinking that's how she's going to be a bounty hunter.
Yeah, a bounty hunter. I could see her maybe like getting hired by like the Empire to hunt the Bad Batch if they like, escape possibly.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm excited. I could see her maybe having like a Ventress kind of arc where like maybe I mean I don't know how long the show's gonna run, but like maybe at first she's like a villain and then by the end she's more of like a reluctant kind of ally.
Got it. Yeah,
You
it's
know,
possible.
because like Boba is a clone, so like maybe it'll like forge like a bit of a connection for her with like Django clones. Like when she meets Boba and he saves her life, she's like, oh, I know what you're about, So is that
Yeah.
exciting things?
Yeah. And another thing about Omega is totally unrelated to the show, but every time I write Omega's name, I've written Omera's name so many times from The Mandalorian that Omega is corrected to Omera. And I'm like, no, I mean Omega in this situation.
So I looked on Wikipedia. It says that they're female, but
That's
don't
what I
know.
said.
Oh, got it.
Okay, gotcha.
But I looked at their citation for it, and because they list all their citations, they're like more
Right, gotcha.
advanced than like I am when I write a paper. But like if you look at their citation, they cite German subtitles for the trailer.
Mm.
Is where they got that.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
again, I don't speak German, so I don't know how that works. I'm just going off the word of whoever put that on Wikipedia. So
Yes.
I
need to watch in Spanish now.
I know, right? I'm curious.
Yes.
Oh, Crosshair. I was going to say, because I know people online are like making their own theories and they think that Crosshair is going to either turn. I don't think he's going to die, but I personally think that we're going to get the impression that he is going to turn because we barely see him in the trailer. So I think that he's not a traitor. I think he is playing like what's it called? One of those agents that plays both sides. I forget what they're called.
Double agent.
Wow.
You were very close.
I was so close. So yeah, I feel like they're a double agent. And so he's playing what I was saying to Sal, that he's playing the long game. So maybe he's feeding them information while still being inside.
Or
we'll see.
Yeah, or it could even be like you said earlier, maybe they're trying to put the chips into them. Maybe they get Crosshair, they get his chip in first, and that's when the rest realize like, oh, we got to get out of here because they ruined Crosshair, Yeah,
that's actually a very good point too.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so sad.
I don't think this chip aside, I don't think Crosshair would sell them out or whatever to the Empire. if any of them would sell it out to the Empire, it would be Crosshair, but I don't think he would do it. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I got you.
Yes.
if I had to
understand.
pick one that I think would do that, it would be Crosshair, but I don't think he will. But
Yeah.
yeah.
If
So,
you
yeah.
had to choose, yeah.
If I had to choose, it would be him.
But
Second would be Wrecker, but I think he'd do it by accident. You know?
no, Wrecker seems like the type of guy who just doesn't want any authority, and the
No.
Empire's all about authority.
No, right. I don't think he'd do it. I think he'd just say something and let something slip
Oh,
by
I
accident. You know?
Got it.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
my-
I think
It's
that's my
okay. We can
thoughts.
forgive him.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
I think that's pretty much it from the trailer,
Yeah.
right? Was there
Yeah.
anything? Yeah, and the fact that it's May 4th. I don't know why I thought May 4th was on a Monday, but it's actually a Tuesday. So that's throwing me
Busy-
off.
That's a busy week.
Yeah.
It's my finals week.
Oh no.
yeah.
I think that's me too. Hmm.
That is that rough life, college students. Rough life.
Yeah. My finals end May 5th.
Ah,
So,
wow.
yes, fun stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the trailer. It's a really good trailer. It's fun, exciting.
Excited for more animated series.
More
For
animated
sure.
series. I would like to speak into existence an animated Rebel sequel. Animated.
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 Do you
Um,
guys think this is a one season show, or would it lead into a second season?
I would like it to be maybe a couple seasons.
Okay.
Just because
So
I have
fuck
so
with it.
many wishes for clones. Like I really want to see Cody. Like so bad. And I want them to be able to fit that in, hopefully. So I think it'll depend, on what they do. Like I think like I said, the first episode I think is gonna tailor a lot of my thoughts on it, just based on what that looks like and what they decide to focus on. I
Mhm.
think will affect how I feel about what I want the length to be.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want. I don't think they will announce anything animated new before the series. I'm hoping they'll announce something either midway or after the series. So here's hoping, because Marvel to me is churning out things one after the other. And it's like, Star Wars, where are you? Because I know that they're really into their live action stuff, but I want to see that kind of stuff for the animated side of it as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, here's hoping they announce something at some point with it before the year ends, I guess.
Mhm.
Because I really want something outside of the Clone Wars for sure.
Is there anything from Visions yet?
No,
They haven't
Visions,
mentioned anything.
they announced a book that goes with it.
Oh,
But we
okay.
don't know what the book is about or what the show is about. So
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like it's either taking on new stories or recreating things in an anime type of style.
Mm.
Is
Yeah.
that the one that we're talking about?
yes,
Yes.
yeah, I
It's
think
different styles, yeah.
yeah, I think it'll be new stories. Just I don't know, obviously, just based on like the description. That's
I
the
see.
vibe I got,
Okay.
but I don't know.
I'm hoping it's
forward
new
to
stuff.
that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that they haven't announced a release date for it besides it being 2021 at this point. If they haven't announced a date, I'm sure it'll be like in the fall is when that runs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I would like more animation. I think is
Yeah.
that. Yeah. We covered everything. Saul Guerrero and his very pointy hair. They all have really pointy hair. The ones that have hair, like Tarkin's hair is a little pointy. Omega's hair is kind of pointy.
Jonah,
Yeah.
when my dad was talking about Saw, did he do the voice at all?
He did.
Okay.
He did. He actually did all of their voices because we
Oh,
were
of
going through the
course.
trailer and he had the
The
quotes typed
photos,
out. Yeah.
each
He even
okay.
did Omega, which was really good. He was like, Wrecker, Hunter. It was so funny.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
I'm just making sure he He's
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to make sure. I think did he post that yet? I saw he did a little like
did
preview of it.
something on
A preview
TikTok.
where you said Daddy Hunter, Jonah. Thank you for that.
Okay, so here's my thing. So
Just woken up in the morning and I saw
I know that me too. I woke up and checked my phone. That's the first thing I see on Facebook. I was like, oh my god,
oh,
it's
he
too
posted
early
it
for
on
this.
Facebook.
Yes. I was like, it's too early for this.
Oh snap, that's so funny. Okay, so this is how this came about. So everyone chooses. You actually had posted a poll on your website about who your favorite clone is, Bad Batch member is, and so I went with Hunter because I love Hunter. I remember tweeting, shh, don't tell Rex, but I think Hunter's hot, and so I'm talking about how I would love to see Hunter, because you see him connect with Omega, and he tells Omega, do you want to come with us? And along those lines. And so I'm like, oh my God, like I would love to see Hunter have father-like tendencies like the Mandalorian in the Mandalorian. So that just made me super excited. And I just thought, oh man, we might see like a softer version of Hunter. And so I don't know, my friend I think it was my best friend who wrote down Daddy Hunter. And so like I had it in my head. And then it just, when Sal was asking us, like, what do we want to see in the show? I mentioned two other things. And then I ended that sentence with, and Daddy Hunter. And so, yeah, that's how that came about. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you didn't need to explain yourself.
I just felt the need to explain because I don't want people to think that I'm just like, ooh, Daddy Hunter. Like there was a reason for it.
Sure.
It's okay. You don't need to pretend with us. It's all right.
That's so funny though. Oh man, I didn't realize he had posted it elsewhere.
No, he posted it everywhere. It was way too early.
He needed the world to see.
I know. It's on TikTok too, I think. I think he made it a TikTok video.
Oh no. TikTok, no.
That's where I saw it first, because I woke up, my first thing, go on TikTok, and I heard Daddy Hunter, and I was like, oh.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to go like that then.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So funny.
Yeah. So I guess that's like a plug for listen to the Rogue Rebels when that comes out for Jonah's.
Oh yeah, so at the time of this recording, it will come out Tuesday, April 6th.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap up, I guess, and do all the plugs. So you can find Star Wars Geek Girl on Facebook. It's just Star Wars Geek Girl. On Twitter and Instagram at SW Girl. StarWarsGeekGirl.com is our website. There's a monthly poll for who's your favorite Bad Batch character. Tech is like way in the lead right now.
Really?
I never would have predicted that. Not that I don't like Tech, I just wouldn't have thought. He's way in the lead. Echo only has one vote, and it's my vote. And no one voted for Crosshair yet. So, I mean, we still have the whole month, but yeah.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Good job, Tech.
Yeah, Tech is like blowing the competition out of the water at the moment. So there's that. I do a blog post on Star Wars Geek Girl just every Friday, just whatever Star Wars thing is on my mind, and a quiz every Wednesday. I alternate between like personality and like assessment quizzes, so like they're fun. Joan, I think you might like the one I just finished literally 10 minutes before we started. I finished the quiz and posting this week, and I think you might like it. So.
Ooh, I will definitely check that out.
So yeah, we do that stuff on there. Lizzy, do you want to do the Rogue Rebels ones?
Yeah, you can find the Rogue Rebels on Instagram at the Rogue Rebels, TikTok. Just check out so you can hear it for yourself, the Rogue Rebels. And you can listen to us wherever you're listening to Star Wars Geek Girl.
Oh, and then me. Okay. I didn't see that then.
At the way bottom.
Cool. So you can find me on Twitter with the handle at @BlueJayGuys, and you can also listen to my mom and I talk about Star Wars animated shows and in the Geeky Bubble Pod.
Oh, Twitch, Rogue Rebels, because my dad has been doing a lot of the Sims, the Star Wars Sims.
Oh,
So he can hang out
Great.
with Hondo and stuff.
It's
So
a great time. He just dances with Hondo.
I think it's great.
Literally I think I was gonna podcast with your dad the one time, and like right before we started, he's like, Zoe, I got The Sims. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm gonna dance with Hondo. I'm like, cool.
He was very excited.
He was
So
very
just entertain
excited.
him.
Yeah.
so funny.
Yes. So yeah, go do all that. You can listen to last week. We did a podcast with Sal and Axel about JoJo's Bizarre
Bizarre
Adventure.
Adventures.
It was bizarre. The hardest I've ever laughed on a podcast. 'Cause it was Axel explaining the plot of this very convoluted anime to us.
I think, Jonah, you should watch it.
I
Don't
will
watch it.
consider it.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't
I
watch it.
think you should watch
Don't
it.
watch it.
I,
Um,
Axel recommends it.
uh,
So
yeah.
take that with a grain of salt.
yeah, so that's all the plug stuff. Go check all that out if you have the time. Thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy.
And I was Jonah.
May the force be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.